Right, good morning. I'm working on the AP 900 barrel today, and I've got it underneath the microscope at the port. And looking inside the hole, you can see really, well, it's really rough. Yeah, I can't believe how rough that is. Now you couldn't do this without having one of these microscopes. Um, but just going to raise it up a little bit, and I want to. Even now, you can see the edge of the circle, of the inner circle, how rough that is. Um, yeah, you can see like sharp bits. Let's just take it out and turn it round. Yeah, you can look. You can see how rough that is in the inner, and you can see bits of fluff. Um, you can see all bits of fluff round here. But look at that inside there. Look how rough that is. Now I'm not quite sure if I can look at the crown, but we'll have a go. I don't know if this will turn round and have a look at the crown. So yeah, okay. So we can try and hang it over the bench. Now this is the crown of the barrel where the silencer fits on, and you can see rough edges. See that kind of whiteness? That's all rough edges all the way round. The microscope wants to falling down, so I've got to hold it. So the crown looks, well, it don't look all that good, does it? And I'm trying to just turn it round. I'm overbalanced. But anyway, now we'll look at where the pellet goes in. So I'll turn the barrel round and we'll have a look where the pellet goes in. And that also looks rough. As I say, the other day, buying this for £25 is well worth it, especially if you're working on your barrel or your rifle, whatever, pellet. You can see all the rough spots. And even this part doesn't look all that good. So let's just move this back. So that's the silencer end where the crown goes, where the crown, and also turn it round where the pellet inserts. Now you're just seeing it on the microscope, and the hole, the transfer port, how badly that is as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pick out a pellet, just an ordinary pellet from the tin, and we'll look at that before I push it down the barrel. So any pellet, makes no difference what it is, just a random pellet, and we'll see what we come up with this. Okay, so the pellet's down. Now I've got to try it and move it so we can see if there's any damage. There's a couple of dings on the edge, you can see. This is just a random pellet. Trouble is we keep getting out of yeah, you can see a couple of marks, you know, this one here. Now when you look at a pellet, it looks quite shiny, you know what I mean? And but you can see all the grain in this particular pellet. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is push the pellet through the rifle. So let's get the pellet out. I'll turn the video off for a minute. Yeah, so looking at that pellet, it seems okay. I did look at another pellet and it was damaged on the head. So I'm using the same pellet and I'm just going to push it in and get my rod. This has already been marked the other day. So that's in and that's tight, and that's right where that black mark is. See it? Now that's tight and that's where the transfer port is. Dear me, I should have cut this rod down. Right, if you look, you can see the pellet. Let's put it underneath the microscope again. Now you can see the pellet in thing, and you can see it where it's stuck. Now whether it's stuck around the edges, I don't know. But that's where the first mark is on my stick. Yeah. Oh, I've got to press record. Yeah, so you can see the pellet where it's got stuck. And now I'm going to just push it through a bit. Now that is tight. In fact, I can't even push it. Dear me. Oh, okay. That's pushed it through, so we should have a good mark in there and see where it goes. Now, I'm on another mark, which I haven't marked on a ruler. Okay, that's cleared that, but now we're at these marks, and that's where it's tight. So now I'm going to bring the pellet out. And that's tight. And there's the pellet. So we'll grab hold of that pellet once I can. Right, okay, so hang on. So in my hand is the pellet. Okay, so we're going to put that underneath the microscope again and see what markings we have. Well, straight away we can see the rifle markings. We can see the rifle markings on the edge of that pellet. And look at that, look, see the damage there? And I think that's where the transfer port was. But you can see the damage. Quite a lot of damage on that. And it looks like there's more. Hang on. Bit hard to move it. Yeah, there's a big bit of damage on that, especially there. And I think there's another bit of damage. It just don't want to turn, does it? But as I say, you wouldn't. Well, I suppose you would see it under a magnifying glass, but not as good as you're seeing it now. It's just a little bit awkward to. Oh, here's the head, and you can see the rifling on the head. See the marks? Have we got any damage on it, on the head? We've got to try and turn it round. Yeah, see, there's a bit of damage there. The rifling is in between the two damaged bit. Oops. Yeah. But the main damage is really on that skirt where it's thin. Look at that, look at that damage there. Whoops. I'm trying to roll it. Yeah, so it's certainly damaged there, and also on the head. But the head is not, the head's a bit different because when it's twisting around the rifling. But that's quite a bit damaged, isn't it? And let's try and stand it up. And I think it's distorted as well, but the distortion, well, I don't know, but you can see damage on that rim. It's possible that it's where my stick, I should have shaved it down a bit. But you can see the pellet damage to whatever way you look at it, yeah. So it is the barrel what needs working. Right, okay, let's turn the video off. yeah, so I'm well pleased with this microscope, especially when you can see that much detail on the pellet, more than you could see with a magnifying glass. So for £25, this little unit is paid for itself just because of that little pellet. You know, you're not going to do this all the time, but so we know we've got damage at each end of the barrel, and we know we've got damage at the transfer port, and a bit of damage somewhere inside the barrel. I'm going to push it through again. I use a different pellet, so I'm going to push the pellet through again. I'm going to use this one first, the pointer, because what I want to do is just get that over that transfer port. Right, okay, that's over the transfer port. So we can look at this pellet as well. So now, from that part, it slides down quite easy and it locks on there. So I need to mark that. And I haven't got my marker pen. Hang on, let's try and put that down. I've got to find my black marker pen. Yeah, it's a very interesting gadget, that microscope. Oh, okay. Right, black marker pen. Right, okay, so that's marked, and we can keep pushing it through now. Yeah, and we've locked it down there. Right, keep pushing it through. You can hear it. Can you hear that? Now, it's supposed to be an unchoked barrel, but it's, whether it is or not, I don't know. Right, okay, the pellet's out. So this is the second pellet. This is the pellet what I just used, and that's the pellet before, okay? So we can stick this underneath the microscope and we'll see how this one is. Oh, got to lay it down. Right, we've got rifling on the edge. Oh shit. Got a bit of damage there. Just trying to move it up. Yeah, we've got a little bit of damage there on the edge. Right, let's have a look at the head. Yeah, a little bit here, just here. Right, okay, so that is not as damaged as the first one. Bit of damage there. Right, okay, so that pellet is not as damaged as the first pellet we tried. So here comes the second pellet, or the first pellet. This is the first pellet we tried. Let's just come down to the skirt. And you can see the damage there. So if I roll that back, and here's the damage coming. You can see the damage on that first one. And here's the second one. But I just can't get that under, so let's raise it up a bit. Yeah, there's quite a bit of damage on that first pellet which we pushed in. Just a little bit of damage on the second one. Nowhere near as bad as hang on, I'm stuck. That little bit of damage, but nowhere near as bad as the first pellet I pushed in. Yeah. Right, okay, I've stopped the video. So there's two pellets that went through the barrel. This one is really damaged. This one is damaged, but not as much as that one. And we saw this one, the first one, where it was okay underneath the microscope before I put it in the barrel. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, because this TMU microscope is very, very good. Especially if you're doing your own maintenance, like checking your barrel out, because that's paid for itself just by that one pellet. It showed me all the damage I want to see. I got the white marker pen here again, and I'm just going to white mark my dots so I know how the barrel lines up. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, give the thumbs up, leave your comments, and for checking your barrel with a pellet, you must have one of these microscopes. And for £25, I mean, it paid for itself, just as I say, just by pushing one pellet through to see the damage on it. And also the crown, the damage on them. So I was right when I first said about the AP900, I got barrel problem, you know. Right, okay, so that's the end of the video and I'll see you later. Okay, bye.